Okay, so, hey y'all, I'm here with Bug Live. He's a fellow Texan and he is an actor too.
How's it going, everybody?
So where are you from?
My family's from Fort Worth. I was born in South Fort Worth around Crowley. I lived in Weatherford for a long time with my family out there, which is just west of Fort Worth. And now I've lived in LA for about 20 years.
Wow. What was it like living?
I love Texas. I grew up there, and over the years, I was always back and forth, to visit family and stuff. And a few years ago, I moved back, and I lived there for 2 years while I was working on writing and just kind of taking some time off from LA.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it out there.
We both the same parish. Safety.
Yeah. You mentioned that. It's pretty awesome that we very possibly were going there at the same time and didn't even realize it.
Yep. And we both spoke to the same.
Yeah. One of my favorite priests of all time. The guy's amazing.
He really is.
He would. Me and my buddy Zach. We'd be like hanging out in the parking lot talking after mass, and we'd end up talking to the priest. He would kind of wander out, and we'd talk to him for like hours, and literally until like next mass was starting, and we'd be like, I guess let's just go back in for mass again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And he gave really good advice too. I've had my best advice from him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a holy priest. He really is. Great guy.
Yeah, he's in Texas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you're an actor. So what was the first movie you started?
The first movie I did was called Little Rascals. I had the old calyx sticking up in the back. That was Alfalfa. I worked, on a lot of kids' movies after that, a lot of Disney stuff, and then kind of transitioned into, the more grown-up type roles and different stuff here and there. And then me and some friends started a development company and just been doing that pretty much ever since. And then this other job came along, this Discovery Channel job, Harley and the Davidsons, and it was too perfect, because there was, it was set in like 1901. So it was like all sort of classic values. And it was just a fun project. So I kind of took a break from writing and jumped back to acting for a while.
What were you writing?
Well, so I own a film and TV development company. So I write some scripts, but most of what I'm writing is like development documents. So it's like character development, story development, stuff like that. And then we hire writers to actually write the thing. But we create the idea, or we buy book rights and then create the idea from that. And then we spend months and months and months kind of figuring out how to best tell the story from the content that we've either created or that we've bought from someone else. And then we hire writers to come in and do that. We have written, me and my writing partner have written a few things like all the way through. The development process is very layered though, so you start with an idea and then you hand it off to a writer, and then sometimes you bring in another writer to sort of finish his work. It's funny because we go see a movie in theaters or something, or watch a TV show, and we think like, oh, there's like one guy that thought of it and then that's that. But it usually goes through like a chain of creative process. Sometimes that's bad because people don't sort of sync up with their ideas. And that's part of what my job is to make sure that we're hiring the right people who sort of share the same lens or share the same sort of creative ideas, so that there's a continuity in the creative process.
It's very like you said. I would never watching TV shows.
Yeah, it's fun. It's there's two parts of the intellect, right? The speculative and the practical. This is all good Catholic teaching here. And the speculative part of the intellect is a lot of fun to use, right? Especially, that's what, like, theology a lot of times is really rooted in the speculative side, and then moral theology is really rooted a lot of times in the practical side. And in the development process, you really have to separate those two things out and focus on the speculative first and make sure that's all working well. And then the practical side is the actual finding the right sort of pieces for the right parts. It's a fun process. It's like one big puzzle that has to be solved.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So what got you into acting?
Oh, what's that?
What got you into acting?
Into acting? I started with Little Rascals. I didn't have any real interest in acting before that. I didn't really acting wasn't really part of my life. I was a normal kid. I went to school and just as normal as it gets. And then with Little Rascals, they had a big open audition where just like anyone could show up. And some friends of mine were going, so I went, and my life kind of changed overnight. So, yeah.
So you're working on the day. Is there can you tell us about it?
Yeah, that was a mini series that I did with Discovery Channel, and it was about the origin of Harley Davidson. So there were three main founders of Harley Davidson. There was Arthur Davidson and Bill Harley. They were like best friends growing up in the streets of the back streets of Milwaukee, which back then was very rural. It was a lot of like country boys. And then one of the Davidson brothers, Walter Davidson, had been sort of successful as a rancher and had enough money to kind of invest in his little brother's idea of strapping an engine to a bicycle. And then these guys together, went forth and started racing and started doing all this stuff and created a company. And the show takes place, it's a 6-hour show. So it's 3 2-hour episodes. And it goes from like 1901 when the idea first hit them, and it follows these three guys all the way up to 1936. So I age all the way up to like 60 years old in the show. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. The whole last episode, I'm like a 60-year-old man, which was so weird, but it was a lot of fun. And that was the hardest part for me. I do, character development is like what I do for a living. So kind of mapping out Arthur's character arc was easy for me until I realized that, people grow and change so much over a 36-year time frame. So it was kind of like developing 3 different characters in my mind. There was a central sort of thread that held all 3 characters together, because the core of a person kind of remains the same, but
right.
Obviously with with the human will and with the human intellect, you are a very different person intellectually, and the exterior things, that mannerisms and stuff certainly can change over time. So, and most of the time they do. So that was the fun part for me, was really aging this guy all the way up to 60, and the body language kind of changes, but there's a little core of him still there. It was fun.
How did they do it?
Well, there was 2 hours of makeup every morning for the last episode. In the first episode, they aged me down. I'm 31. So the character starts at like 20. So to age me down, it was a pretty quick process. They just kind of darkened my eyebrows a little bit. I guess kind of lightened up my features here and there. My hair, they darkened it just a little. And then a lot of it was my work of just being very peppy and shoulders back and very sort of, excited about everything. Big eyes, right? Young men tend to have big eyes about everything. The world's still new and exciting. And then the middle version of the character, who was about my age, a little older, between 30 and 40. I just kind of played him straight. I just played him as myself, or I played him as my age. Obviously, I all the character traits are all there, but we didn't do anything specific, except a little gray towards the end of the episode once he hits, sort of 40s. In the third episode, it was 2 hours of makeup every morning. They bleached my hair blonde and then dyed it gray. So I had gray hair for like 6 months. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then it was just a lot of like all the peppy stuff that I did in the beginning now became like kind of slouchy, and the shoulders kind of roll forward, and he's tired. I basically played the first character just tired. Yeah.
So did you work on the developing process?
No, this one kind of came at me from left field. My company, has been developing lots of projects, and we've sold shows, and so I've been mostly focused on that. And I had a little break, and my agents have been trying to get me to act for a while, and they kind of teased me with this project, and they were like, "It's motorcycles, it's a period piece which you love," and so I came out of my sort of writing retirement to act. But I wasn't involved. The company that developed it was a company called Raw, out of London. They're a great development company. They've done a lot of reality TV shows, but they've also done a lot of really great scripted work. They're great guys over there. So, I knew their work previously, and I was really happy to be working with them. And they share the same lens as me as far as morals and things like that. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you working on things now? Like, what's your next?
Just back to developing. So my company's developing about 15 projects right now. We just sold a show called Downtown Earl, which is about a young English kid who's sort of royalty, and he gets sent to America because he's misbehaving, and he befriends sort of a city kid that sort of street smart, and they start a company together, and that's a sitcom that we just sold. And I think my business partner and a friend of mine, Greg Sulkin, they'll be doing that project, from an acting standpoint. And just all kinds of. We have a Coachella project about kids that go on the road to go to Coachella, and then they learn some good morals along the way, kind of like Breakfast Club on the road.
Right, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, just a lot of writing, and finding ways to sort of put our values into the into the entertainment industry, right? That's the real goal, right? Art lifts the heart and mind to God, and finding a way to do that without compromising morals, in this business is sometimes difficult, but we're figuring it out as we go.
Right. It's amazing work you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Guys, so I need to get a charger.
Okay.
Okay, just got.
It's all right. So what's your dog's name?
Chesterton.
Nice. After GK?
Yep. Of course.
Great. Love it.
So have you always been Catholic, or were you convert, or?
No. I converted to Catholicism in 2013.
Wow, very recently.
Yeah.
So what brought you to the traditional side?
I converted. I didn't really know any difference. I converted because of a bunch of other traditional Rite Catholics, and that's just kind of what I came into.
Right.
It's funny because I guess there's usually kind of a stepping process of people that kind of come through and then they work their way to the Latin Mass or whatever. But I was baptized at a Latin Mass, and it was just where I started.
Did Father Wolf baptize you?
No, I met Father Wolf after my conversion. I moved to Texas and found the parish there, and became friends with Father Wolf and the other guys there. But I was baptized out here in California.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite while working on the cast for David?
Oh man, I guess just really, it's hard to hone in on any certain memories, so much as it's just kind of the memory of people, right? So just being with Rob and Mikkel, we were really close on that project, and just every day was a great memory. We hung out, we laughed. Rob is, it's funny because he always plays really serious characters, and he's a brilliant actor, but he's also just super funny. Like he's just, if you just watched him on the film and TV that he's done, you'd never guess it, but he's a huge comedian. He's a big jokester. So he's always making me and Mikkel laugh. And, Mikkel is he's been doing it for so long. And he was also a child actor. So me and him kind of bonded over that. And just getting to work with those guys was really the whole thing, I guess, was really the memorable moment.
So since you're what's your favorite thing you've done?
Can you repeat that?
I said, since you're from Texas, what's your favorite thing you've done?
Since I'm from Texas, what's my favorite
Type of gun.
Oh, type of gun. That's funny. I'm in the market for a Scar 17 right now. So, you said gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Scar 17 I like a lot. I guess it depends on what you're using it for, right? I wouldn't take a SIG P320 hunting, and I wouldn't take a Scar 17, as my daily carry. So it just depends on what you're using, or what you're using it for. What's that?
I said, have you been?
No, I didn't grow up hunting, because I was mostly in LA. But it's something that, me and my buddies are at the range quite a bit, and we have a lot of military projects that we're developing. So, we're hanging around with a lot of the, the SEAL guys and the DEA FAST team and those kind of guys. So, they're showing us the ropes right now.
That's really cool.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Is there certain things you look up to?
I'm so sorry. You're cutting out. Is there a certain what that I look up to?
Saint.
Oh, man. Oh, that's a tough question. My baptism patron was St. Moses the Black, and my confirmation patron was Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's funny because I guess those two guys really cover the entire spectrum for me. St. Moses was, a mystic, and he was one of the Desert Fathers, so that spirituality is such, it's such a practical spirituality. It's very much rooted in in sort of getting rid of your defects and, growing in virtue and all that kind of stuff. And then, St. Augustine, obviously neglecting the intellect is a quick way to diminish your faith, right? The intellect informs the will. So to whatever degree your intellect can be filled with the things of God, it should be. And so Augustine is such a big part of that, the pick up and read And in a lot of ways, he was one of the first, really, really great intellects of the church. I mean, we had, St. John Chrysostom and all those kind of guys, but I think St. Augustine was the first guy that really made the philosophical side of theology important.
So how do we find, like, what's your social media sites?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. We follow each other on Instagram. So that's pretty much it. I'm not never been real big on social media. My audience, I guess, if you will, my demographic, isn't that big on social media anyway. It's definitely more of a young man's game, and I don't have that much time really for too much social media. So, and it just changes so fast. I remember a while back, everyone was like, "Oh, Twitter," 5-10 years ago, whatever it was. And I kind of like slowly was like, okay, fine, begrudgingly dragging my feet. And everyone's like, no, you don't know. This is the future. This is the future. And now, Twitter's like dying out, and now it's Instagram, and give it time, Instagram will go the way of the dodo too, I'm sure. So,
Yep.
Yep. But
So
but I'm on both of those. You can find me there.
That's cool. So, links to find you.
Okay. Did you say links?
Yeah, I'll put the link to social media.
Oh, great. Cool.
I'm sorry about that. I tried to fix the microphone.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just cutting in and out a little.
Do you have a favorite prayer?
Yeah, I like St. Anthony's brief, and I like the Sorrowful Mother version of the Hail Mary. Yeah, I do my Servite Rosary, obviously September, but really all year long. My devotion to the Seven Sorrows of Our Blessed Mother is kind of my main go-to.
Right, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So thank you for being. I'm sorry about getting all this to work.
No worries. No worries. I'm not too tech savvy, so sorry for I'm sure I prolonged the process with my idiocy, but but we got it working. That's all that matters. Thanks for watching, all you people out there. This was fun. I got to get over to my fiance's and help her move some stuff, but this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you for being on here.
All right. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Goodbye.